as a mother who nourishes her child. So affectionately longing for you, we are pleased to impart to you not only the gospel of God, but look what else he imparted, but our own lives, because you have become dear to us. Yeah, it begs a question. That's how God speaks to me. It begs a question. And the question is, who are you imparting your life to? Who are you imparting it to? Is it just your family? Are you imparting it to others around you? We had a gal call the church some time back. I think it was before Christmas. And she's a chaplain at St. Luke's. She is raised in a Southern Baptist church and very involved, and she's now a chaplain, and she was going to try to come, and I called her one other time because I don't like to bug people endlessly. I called again and said, Katie, how you doing? And man, just really busy. They keep me going. I was supposed to work Monday to Friday, and boy, I seem to be working all the time. Yesterday, Gloria and I went to Hobbytown, then we went over to Joann's, and I was looking for some stuff over by the flower department to make straw for my stockyard. And here's this gal there, and she said, "Oh, am I in your way?" I listened, and I thought, boy, that accent's not from here. And I went to pick up some Spanish moss, and somebody had opened the bag, and I picked it up, and you ever see how Spanish moss makes a mess on the floor? So I stuff it back in the bag, and I said, "Boy, where's the accent from?" "Mississippi." I said, "Oh, wow." I said, I don't know how we got there. And she said, "Well, my dad was in the Air Force at Keesler." Well, I was in the Air Force at Keesler in Biloxi, Mississippi. And so I used to be there, and I lived in Gulfport. I said, "My nephew just is in his last year, graduated from Mississippi College." "Wow, I went there." And that was really cool. And I said, "My nephew's been playing football there." And something else, and I said, "Well, I pastor Southern Baptist Church." She said she was raised Southern Baptist. She said, "Oh, which one?" And I said, "University Baptist Church." And her eyes got about this big, and her jaw dropped down. She said, I'm Katie, the chaplain." Oh, isn't that not incredible? How'd that happen? I just talk to people. I look at people. I talk to people wherever I go. It's kind of my nature, I guess. God wound me this way. And so then I said, I want you to meet my wife. I want you to know some other people from the church so that when you get a chance to come, that you'll know people. And so, well, I got to call Gloria on the cell phone. Man, I can't find her in this store. And I'm listening for the phone to ring, but she's nowhere around. Then finally she answers it. And I thought, I'm glad for cell phones, folks. I like technology. I don't want to be going back to the basics. I like where we're at today. And so Gloria came over and met her. And I thought it was really neat because she was talking about feeling guilty that she hasn't come. And Gloria said, "Oh, there's no need to feel guilty." I thought, "Yes, Lord." Because that's what, there's not. We just want to know she's welcome. We want to know that there's people that care. And so I had a chance, in a little bit of time, to impart part of my life. To impart a little bit of the love of the Lord to a person that happens to be a believer, that happens to be up here and hasn't been here that long and is kind of not involved. Just really busy. So who are you imparting your life to? And what part of your life are you imparting? Are you imparting the Jesus life? Bruce Carroll says, be Jesus to somebody today. Are you being Jesus to somebody? Oh, that we might have that love for one another that Paul had for the world around him. That was a Christ love. Because he says, walk in a manner worthy of the Lord. Not in a manner worthy of him, but of the Lord. See on your outline, Paul's example challenges us. I hope it does. If our hearts beat with something of the pulse of Paul, we will be persons who have a godly affection for each other. This is the plain meaning of verse 16, which completes Paul's individual greetings to Rome. Greet one another with the Holy, we kind of take that out of context sometimes, and the world likes to misuse it. But the New Living says, greet each other in Christian love. Another version says, embrace one another in Christian love. You see, there's right ways of embracing, there's right ways of kissing, there's right ways of caring. And then there's the ways that the world would throw at you and tell you that this says you care, and it really isn't. Because when we care with a Christian love, we care with the love of God, a heart of compassion, a heart of touching, a heart of lifting somebody out of maybe the miry clay that they may be stuck in. It's biblical to express love and affection, even to the point of an embrace and a greet with a holy kiss. What a difference authentic Christianity would make in the world around us. What a difference if it was authentic. Problem is, there's not a lot of authentic Christianity. I met a guy, and I'll share a little bit about him, but I met him on the ski lift. I said, mind if I ride up with you? The Holtons were all together behind, and he said, no, not at all. And he said, my name's Gary, I'm a Christian man. I love it, Lord. That was just really pretty cool. I'm a Christian man. Now, I knew what he meant, and then he said, so I don't mind sharing the lift if we don't have, curse words and obnoxious talk. Dude, just jump right on out there. Tell me to shut up. I thought, man, I was blessed. And I'll tell you more about Gary, because it was a pretty interesting time. Not long ago, an 87-year-old woman in Grand Rapids appealed to the state. She wrote a letter to the state appealing that they would put her in a nursing home. And here's what she wrote. I don't blame people for not taking the time to see me. I'm not very interesting. Everybody I know is dead or moved away. I'd like to talk to somebody that's alive. I want you to hear underneath the words, the emotion. I want you to hear the pain that people are in. I'd like some company. Well, the newspaper got a hold of the letter. Somebody from the state probably called and said, isn't it interesting? Maybe, to get the word out there about lonely people. And so they reported on the situation, saying that this woman got out once or twice a month for some rare shopping. She otherwise rarely left her apartment. Her typical day began at 6:30 with breakfast and toast. She then watered her garden in the kitchen, which consisted of 5 small potted plants. After tidying up her place, she'd spend the rest of the day looking out the window. Her day ended at 8:30 after a light supper, and she went to bed. Perhaps we may regard that story as, kind of sensational. Another fellow picked it up, and then Charles Rich, in the book Greening of America, wrote, America is one vast, terrifying anti-community. Whew. Man, we don't think about, care about, reach out to. Man, we just kind of go through our daily life not aware of people. We're oblivious so often. The great organization to which most people give their working day in their apartments and their suburbs to which they return at night are equal places of loneliness and alienation. Protocol, competition, hostility, and fear have replaced the warmth of the circle of affection which might sustain man against a hostile universe. Very, very true. The problem, of course, is that the church is often seen in the same light. We're busy with our church people. We miss the outside world around us. We're busy in our workaday world. We don't call to encourage one another or see how one another's doing. And do you need help? I had a chance to say to somebody yesterday, man, the other day, and then I'm going to go do this. So do you need help moving? Well, are you offering? Nah, man, me? I don't do that stuff. What, are you crazy? I said, well, yeah. Well, that'd be really nice. I'd appreciate that. And you know, it all doesn't take an awful lot sometimes. It might take a little time. But just to say I care, just to say I'm available. I think the problem is how we see or view people. Now, Vicki, Jess, and Gloria got a piece of this the other day because I had shared, God had given this to me in a conversation. I think there's three basic ways we view people in the world around us. I want you to ask yourself, how do you view people? One, we have real people. We have real people. And they would be family, close friends, some co-workers and such. We know personal things and some significant things about their lives. We interact with them. We know some of their hurts. We know some of their joys. We know some of their achievements and successes. They're real to us. Real. And we get involved in their lives. But then there are the mechanical people. You know a lot of these mechanical people. Sometimes Rick is seen as a mechanical person. And mechanicals, those are the service providers. The service providers. People who cross our path throughout the day. You know, we might acknowledge their existence. How you doing? And they show us the things that we're trying to buy. And we might know a little something about them. Why? Because we know where they're working. Why? I know Joan's a nurse, you know, and she might interact with somebody. Oh, that's Nurse Joan. She helps take care of me. Or, boy, that's Paul, and he does the maintenance stuff over here at the hotel. And so, boy, you see him in a uniform. You see him where they're working. You know a little bit about them, but they're kind of just mechanical people. You don't know very much. You don't really interact very much with them. You don't know any of their hurts and their struggles in life. Yeah, you know, they're just kind of there. And so often we don't see them as real people. We just see them as autotrons, mechanical, oblivious to what's going on in their lives. Yeah. That's not the worst kind of people, though. There's others that we miss, and they're the scenery people. Scenery people. We see them at the airports. We see them in the malls. We see them at the health clubs. We see them passing on the street and such. We see them as kind of trees and shrubs. They're just kind of there. Hey, shrub, how you doing? Hey, tree. No, we don't even do that. You know, we kind of don't make eye contact with most of those people. So often we walk around like that. I know you're all looking for the $100,000 on the ground, but ain't found it yet, so I got to keep looking. But we kind of do that. We kind of just see them as trees and shrubs, and we just kind of walk by them, or they're, you know, the low-hanging branch on the trees in Columbia Village, and you got to duck. And we kind of duck out of their way, and, you know, they're just there. We don't even see them as real. We don't know anything about them. And you know, the sad part is, with the scenery and sometimes the mechanical people, we really don't care much about them. We really don't worry about where they're headed. We don't worry if they have some really horrible health disease. We don't worry if, boy, their loved one at home is dying. What kind of people have you met lately? Trees and shrubs? Autotrons? Real people? I told you I met Gary. Actually, I met him before the Holtons got up there. I met him on the lift. He's a ski instructor, not up at Bogus, but at Tamarack. They're not open, so he's up at Bogus skiing, and he started talking to me about life, and said, well, you know, my legs are a little tired. I'm going to go in and rest. He said, oh, I'll come in. So I said, well, I'm going to be sitting up here, and going to be some friends are out there in lessons, and they're going to be coming in, and come and join us. So we went in. They were still out there, and he said, would you like a cup of coffee? I said, be great. My phone had rung when I was up on the mountain, so I looked at it, and my nephew had called, and I thought, boy, it's about my sister. So I called him up, and Gary came up with the coffee, and I'm standing by the window where you can get a reception, and I'm talking to my nephew, and then I'm talking to my sister, and he sat down, and then I went over there and talked. Gary's retired Air Force pilot, retired again from Horizon Airlines, had a son at 42 die of cancer, had a daughter-in-law die